Really appreciate getting to talk to one of the newest commanders, Jaylin Lane. Jaylin, thanks for making time for us, dude. What was it like getting that phone call, finding out you're going to the NFL and you're going to play in Washington?
Yeah, man, it was amazing. I was around, my close family, close friends, and stuff like that. And it's a call you always dream about, and you always think about, dang, what am I gonna say? What are they gonna say? Who's gonna be calling me? But it's just like, it's just one of those moments that you just try to cherish and just be in the moment for. And it's definitely one of the greatest experiences I've had.
I bet, man. I can only imagine. I'm curious. So you're from the Carolinas, and then you played college ball in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
Now, none of that is DC, right? But before the Panthers, there were a whole lot of Redskins fans down in the Carolinas, and
yeah.
then the Hokie crowd certainly intersects with the Commanders crowd. Have you ever been a fan of the Burgundy and Gold, or do you have any family or friends?
I've never like growing up. I wasn't a fan, but I got a lot of family members that are friends. I mean fans, and a lot of people in Blacksburg I know um, are Washington fans. So yeah, I got a lot of support for sure.
That's great. That's great. And obviously, you returned punts in college at a really good level, about 10 yards a return. Is that right?
Yeah, things about right there. Yeah, yeah.
Pretty good, dude. Is that a job you're excited for on the next level?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Punt returning. I feel like it's a great asset that I bring to the table, and I'm ready to make some plays in that burgundy and gold.
I don't know if you saw the video after they put the pick in and they got you. Commander Special Teams coach Larry Izzo, they posted a video where he was very visibly fired up. He was very excited, I think. Did you and Izzo talk in this process at all? Do you know him?
I haven't met him yet. I talked to obviously Coach Ingram, Coach Coleman, and
Hmm.
things like that. But I haven't met him yet. I'm excited to meet him, and but yeah, I'm glad he was excited to get me. That made me feel good.
How would you describe your game?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very versatile. I'm a yards after the catch kind of guy. Also a vertical threat. I feel like, and I just feel like I'm a very dynamic and explosive. Get the ball in my hands. The first man, I'm gonna guarantee to make him miss, and after that, I'm gonna get busy. So that's how kind of how I describe me.
Do you, as a receiver, do you like working out of the slot? Do you like being on the outside? Do you have a preference?
Honestly, both. Like, Virginia Tech, I played mostly slot, but before I transferred there at Middle Tennessee, I played mostly outside. So, I'm very comfortable at either, and I'm excited to see, where I fit in the offense.
Well, I think a big part of why Washington in since Adam Peters has taken over the front office, they really seem to lean into athletic scores. Your athletic scores are just nuts, frankly. I mean, a 40-inch vert with a 4.3 speed and the burst and the 10 yard and the shot, all of it is nuts. What age, how old were you when you realized, like, all right, I'm the best athlete in gym class, or I'm the best athlete in middle school? Like, how did that happen?
I don't know. I feel like I played baseball growing up, and I was always the fastest one on the team. I always bat first, so I get on base and it's a steal. And then I get to high school. I was kind of smaller than everybody else. So I'm like, dang, if I'm smaller than everybody, I got to be faster. So I started running track, got faster, and then probably by my like senior year, that's when I realized of high school, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a pretty good athlete. I was kind of coming into my body finally a little bit, and I was just faster and just more explosive. So that's kind of when it set in for me.
When you were playing baseball, are we talking little league, like middle school, high school? What are we talking here?
I stopped playing when I got to high school, so I played like from that was the first sport I played at like 3, 4 years old, like t-ball, and then
Yeah.
up until like eighth grade.
So you're on the base path. Did you ever get thrown out trying to steal?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't have any memories in my mind of
I
getting
can't
thrown.
imagine a seventh grade catcher can throw you out with the
Nah.
speed you have.
Nah, I don't think so.
So you're listed at 5'10". I don't know if you take issue with that or if that sounds correct. Can you dunk?
Oh yeah, I can dunk off vert, like just standing
That's
there.
I figured you could. It's why I asked. I didn't want to set you up for a discussion there. But that's I'm 5'11" and definitely cannot, just for here. I got some years on you though. Once upon a time I could touch the rim, barely.
What's up? What's up?
Um, coming to town, rookie mini camps next week. What
Yeah.
does that mean for you? What do you need?
I'm excited, getting in town, get familiar. I've obviously been in the DMV area before. Virginia State, we played in the Military Bowl in 2023. So, I'm kind of, seeing the area and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm excited to, come in and, meet the whole staff, meet everybody else I'm coming in with and, get to work.
What's it mean to get to work with Jaden?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. Obviously coming into the league, you want to be coming into a great quarterback situation, and that's what we got here in Washington. It'd be cool to meet him, cool to meet the other guys, and yeah, I'm definitely excited.
I saw in an interview with Kay Adams, you said Terry McLaurin's one of your favorite receivers in the NFL. You were saying that before you knew you were coming here.
Yeah,
Have you talked to Terry at all?
no, I haven't. It'd be cool to meet him as well, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited to get to work, man. So
Well, and Debo's a South Carolina guy, right?
yep.
Any relationship there? Or just excited to get to meet him.
I think I've met him before, and especially my dad. He's a high school football coach. He actually coached against him in high school. Um,
Wow.
yeah, he went to Debo went to Chapman and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's cool. Just having that South Carolina lineage and bringing that to the DMV. So yeah, it's just exciting, man. I'm excited.
But my South Carolina lineage, I have a aunt and a bunch of cousins in North Myrtle Beach.
Oh, North
And I
Myrtle.
like to go to this restaurant called Crab Catchers where they have fried corn. You ever had fried corn?
Yeah, I have. I love
It's
fried
banging.
corn. Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you go? Where does your pop coach?
He's coaching at West Side in Anderson right now.
And where did Debo go?
He went to Chapman. But when my pops, when he coached against him, he was at Woodrow. My pops, he's coached at about 5 different schools, I believe, just over the last 20 years. So yeah.
What's it like to grow up with your dad as a football coach?
Honestly, I feel like it's been amazing. Obviously, like growing up, I was just immersed in the game at a young age. Being around them. I remember just being with them in meetings. I'm like 6, 7 years old, not knowing really what's going on, but just being around the game. And he's coached me in high school, which looking back, I'm so glad he did because he was easily the hardest coach I've ever had on me. Just because he wanted to make sure that everything I got, I earned. People are gonna say you're only getting targets because your dad's the coach, this and that. But, he told me the other week, he said, they definitely can't say that anymore. So, yeah.
I think you've proven that false, certainly. Last thing, just Jaden Daniels, Terry, Debo, like there's all this really cool Zach Ertz. I don't know, you'll get to meet him.
Yeah.
Have you, since you've been drafted, have you started watching this offense or do they send you a playbook, any of that? Like, how do you start to immerse yourself in what Washington does?
It's funny, like, I like this past season, this is like, I always watch the NFL, but like last season, like I was really watching like, pretty much every Sunday just because, I'm like, this is where I'm, in a year's time, I want to be on this field. And, I probably watch the Commanders almost every week just because, they're a really good team. I want to watch really good teams and just seeing them play. And, but yeah, they're sending me my iPad so I can go and get started and things like that. Know where to hop on Zoom meetings and stuff. But yeah, I'm just really excited, man, and excited to play in this offense, excited to play for this team, and put on for the DMV, put on for Washington.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Jaylin, thank you for the time, man. I really enjoyed speaking with you, and I'll introduce myself next week in person at rookie camp.
Let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thanks very much, Jaylin. Take care, man.
You too.
Congrats.
Thank you.